Hi.
Hey.
I kind of wondered what that noise was. I thought you being an old windbag and all.
Oh, I turned your kettle off for you. What are you doing?
I am stringing some beans and getting ready for you guys. Did you miss us last week? We had a couple of things come up. Roy got a little sick, and I got a little attacked.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this a quick little PSA before we get started cooking. Please, please, please spay and neuter your animals. I've got 2 strays up here, which are also feral, and they keep having litters. And I took in 1 full litter. You guys have seen that. And we got dropped with 2 new kittens. And Roy and myself thought that was the end of it and made arrangements for her to be fixed. So on the night that she was, and I have a pretty good reputation with this cat, I got the carrier ready and reached down like I always do to pick her up. And she was not having it. Before I knew it, she was biting, sinking her teeth into me, clawing. I opted not to do a show because
He was messed up.
My hands really were too bad, and I didn't want people seeing that. So please spay and neuter your animals. The reason she ended up attacking me, she ended up having a litter of 6, not 2. There were 4 more that we did not know about. On a lighter note, with all of this going on, Roy's sickness, me being mauled to death, and almost, tell you how serious it was, I almost ended up having to go through a series of rabies shots. But thankfully, they opted not to. You'll notice a new addition to my kitchen. My refrigerator died last Thursday night. And had to get a new one, get it delivered. Ended up having a little bit of a problem with that. Got it taken care of. So we are back.
We are back.
In the saddle again.
Yes.
Tonight, what we have in store for you, obviously some green beans. You can see we've got some apples, some onions, some garlic. You're going to have to come back and find out what we're making tonight on In the Kitchen with me, Mikey, and of course, my cameraman, Roy. Say hi, Roy.
Hey, Roy.
He always gets that off.
I can't help it. And fresh mashed potatoes. Not too spectacular, I guess, until you see what I stuff them with. One of my own recipes. Over here I have a good apple. Personally, I use Honeycrisp. Granny Smiths are also amazing in here. I have some garlic and onion, about 3 cloves of garlic, and about a half of an onion, a small onion. There's the other half, you can tell. And this is garlic for our potatoes later. We always start with what takes the longest to cook, which is our green beans. As many people as there are on this planet, you have different ways of making green beans. Normally I would throw in a piece of pork, some salt and pepper. Since we're already doing a pork dish, I wanted to change it up. We have a spice from Croatia, a spice mix, spice blend called Vegeta. Check it out. I don't want to tell you exactly what's in it because you may turn up your nose, but it's nothing gross. I like it.
Chicken is the main base for it. If you look down in here, you will actually see pieces of it rehydrating. That's onions, garlic, and here's the weird one, parsnips. But it doesn't impart a ton of flavor, but it's really good. This is the first time I've ever done this with green beans, so we'll tell you, don't worry, when we get to the end. We're not afraid to tell you if something turned out really bad, like that durian
Oh no.
Yeah, that just didn't go well for anybody. I didn't even eat it, and it didn't go well.
He was hacking and yakking 20 minutes before we started shooting.
I can almost smell that. First, we want to prepare our stuffing. Now, I will tell you the pork chop process is going to be a 2-step process. When we pull out the pork chops, you'll see why. What you want to start is your stuffing first. Now, if you have some leftover cornbread or leftover bread, by all means use it. Right now, I just don't. So I bought a box of ready-made stuffing. I did use the pork flavor. And I'm going to make this. I only used maybe a quarter of the package out of here. I'm not going to use the butter in it because really the pork is going to be fatty enough. But what we are going to change up, we are going to add the garlic and onions to it. That's going to add a little bit more of a sweeter flavor. We are also going to add diced apples. We have the apples over here. We haven't diced them because, as you know, apples rust or oxidize very quickly. If you're working with fruit, I think I'm talking fast today.
Must be the Macarita.
Oh, we've had a bottle of Makgeolli already.
Oh Lord.
If you have fruits or vegetables, potatoes, same thing, notorious for browning. That's why I haven't peeled mine yet. And I'll get to that here in just a minute. You can throw in a little bit of cream of tartar if you have it, and I mean just 1/8 of a teaspoon in your water. If you don't have that, throw in a tablespoon or so of vinegar or citric acid, either one. If you have a half of a lemon, squeeze lemon juice in the water. Your fruit, your vegetable, whatever it is, will not turn brown. So, on to the potatoes. To leave the skins on or not. Personally, I like them when baked potatoes come around. I enjoy eating the skins. Some of us don't, Roy.
Yeah. Baked potatoes, I don't eat the skin.
Yeah, it's a texture thing for him. But
For
I
me,
personally,
yes.
I do like them. Now, potatoes like this, I'm really not sure how old they are, how new they are, what was used with them. If I get them from the farmer's market, they typically label them as new potatoes. They have a lot lighter skins. And I know in some areas, new potatoes, what they call in the stores, are actually just small B-size red potatoes. New potatoes are just that. Freshly dug up out of the garden. They have very thin skins on them. Perfect for mashing them skin on. These I am going to remove. We are going to flavor things up a little bit different. I want to do an herb potato with it. I'm going to use garlic, a little tarragon, and something I ain't really sure about. We went to Home Goods, I think is what it was, and they had a closeout section of weird food, and of course, Roy and I.
Yeah, we gotta try that stuff.
So we picked up some black truffle salt, which actually does have black truffle in it. Now, I do know from experience, I pay attention, Mr. Gordon Ramsay, you can overpower a dish easily with truffle. I can tell why. They're very fragrant. So we're going to try a pinch in there with that. So our green beans are working. We are going to start our stuffing. Just whatever recipe you have, or even if you have the bag of just the stuff, or not necessarily stuffing mix, but the cubed breads. Croutons might work. Kind of the same thing. Season it how you like it. I'm going really simple with this. Going with sage, garlic, onion, and apple. Apples and sage are amazing. Apples, pork, and sage all go together. I know you guys remember that episode of the Brady Bunch.
Pork chops and applesauce.
Pork chops and applesauce. Or however he did it. Who was it supposed to be like?
Humphrey Bogart.
Humphrey Bogart.
You see, Humphrey Bogart.
These are Blue Lake green beans. They are not going to take too terribly long to cook, about 30 minutes. We have our water on for the stuffing. So, we might as well get on to it. Not having a whole lot of breaks tonight. We're both excited about doing this. We really did miss you guys. this is therapy for us. Not that
Yes.
we're nuts or anything. Well, you know, we might be a little bit. But you want this a little bit drier than normal. So to a quarter of a bag, which I'm going to say is about 2 cups, I added almost a cup of water. You want that to absorb slightly because it will continue. And in here, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of our garlic and onion mix. Altogether, like I said, it's a half of a medium-sized onion and about 4 cloves of garlic.
It smells good.
It will, it will, it will.
It's gonna taste good too.
Now, I'll just show you a quick dice on here. And these apples have been soaking. Again, these are Honey Crisps. The trait with these, and this sounds so weird, when they genetically create apples, or however it is they do in a laboratory, the cells in the Honeycrisp apples are much larger, so when you bite into them, you get a lot more juice, and juice means a lot of flavor. That's one reason I love these as a good eating apple. And also, you cannot go wrong fall time, which is what we're slowly getting into. I don't know where you guys are because you haven't told us yet.
Yes, please tell us in the comments.
And you know, when you do that and leave your little comment right now where you're from, so we know, we do care.
Yeah.
You can also like and subscribe and hit the little dingy bell.
Ding dong.
That will notify you when me and Roy decide to get up to no good and make another video. Typically, and I say this all the time, typically we try to shoot a video once a week, every Friday, release every Saturday. Life happens.
It does.
You know. We are going to use in here, I think I'm just going to go with a half of an apple. And the Honey Crisps are pretty big apples. I am leaving rather large chunks. When these cook, they are going to cook very soft. Being fall time, as I was saying, Granny Smiths would be a great choice for this. Granny Smiths are just all the way around an all-purpose apple. Just don't eat a whole lot of them. What your mama said is true. When we come back, we will have our stuffing ready and cooled a little bit, because right now it's just too hot to touch. And you really don't want to put a super hot stuffing inside of anything that goes with your birds, your pork chops, and what else do you stuff? You can stuff anything, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Something that we are going to do coming up. This is one of those days that Roy's going to have to bring his own lunch. We'll do stuffed bell peppers. Love them. Roy, again, it's a texture thing.
It is.
So we'll be right back on In the Kitchen with us, Mikey and Roy. We'll be right back. If you guys could only hear
I'm sure they can imagine.
what goes on behind the scenes.
Oh, Lord.
So as I was telling you, trying to, and keep a straight face at the same time, this is why there's a 2-step cooking process to our pork chops. They are huge.
Huge.
Now, getting into a few things that you can stuff them with. This is just something that I like. Roy, I like it, or he'll like it. I'll tell him he likes it.
It's new.
In here, again, we have about a quarter of a container, about 2 cups of stuffing mix. I did use pork to go with it. I added a tablespoon of sage, about half a teaspoon of salt, maybe a little bit more salt to taste, of course. Your apples, garlic, and onions. You can also stuff these with blue cheese, feta cheese. If you do the blue cheese, if you do the feta and spinach would be great inside of these. You can crust them with like a panko breadcrumb and skillet fry them to start and then put them in the oven. What we're going to do, I have my grill attachment
for my stove. He's real particular about what you call things. In a previous episode, I made just this terrible mistake of saying that I was going to cook a cake in the oven.
You bake a cake in the oven.
So I try to watch my words. Our potatoes are working. About the time that these are done, our potatoes will be as well. Green beans are taking a little bit longer than I thought. I thought they were fresher than they were. But I'm going to come over here and show you how to stuff these. You do not need to truss these. You can if you want. Roy, tell the people what trussing is.
That's when you take your little string and you tie them up.
I am taking an extremely sharp knife, and that's what you want to cut through. Go from bone to bone and stop. You want it pretty even. You can look inside and see,
Nice little pockets.
And I'm going to tell you something else that this works really well with, believe it or not. Beef, not so much. But stuffed chicken breasts. You can do like a cordon bleu with that. Ham, blue cheese.
Chicken Kiev.
Yeah, chicken Kiev would be great. Cream cheese would be an interesting stuffing in there.
And with Halloween coming, it would be scream cheese.
We are going to have to work something out. We already have a couple of ideas for the holiday shows. Thanksgiving and Christmas are pretty much set. Halloween, we got to do some work. So if Roy would be so kind to hand me my Korean spoon, second drawer down, you would think by now he would learn my kitchen. Nope. Long one.
Oh, Lord.
Or what spoon?
We've only done this for like 14 shows.
14, 15. So you want to stuff these, get a good amount in here. There is no cheese in this one, so you don't have to worry about it melting. You do want to go a little bit heavier with your seasoning. If your stuffing doesn't, what am I trying to say? The stuffing that I used was already mixed. There wasn't an individual seasoning pack. I know some of them are. Just cut back. You can always add salt later. You can't take it out once it's there. You want these a good stuff, and they may be a little bit messy. Hey, look! I got a pork chop sandwich.
That's going to be good in about, what, 30 minutes?
Right at. You want them on the grill for your grill marks and to sear them really well. You may not want to stuff them as heavily as I've stuffed. That one's probably going to be a problem. But this pocket's much nicer. And I know some of you are sitting there saying, well, you know, you could truss them and it would be okay.
Toothpicks.
Toothpicks work wonders.
Yep. Just don't forget to take them out when you're done.
Yeah, we've had, not on this show, but I've had some issues with toothpicks in the past. Club sandwiches. Yeah.
Especially when they go up your nose.
Okay, I'm going
Anyway.
to stick my foot in my mouth. Did that happen to you, Roy?
No, I was just making an absurd, just a comment there.
Roy, did that happen to you?
Maybe once.
We've been having too much fun. As you know,
Oh, Lord.
yeah, we've
done had one bottle and
we're going to go ahead and finish this off. Now, Roy does not like the mix, the bottom of this, as much as I do. And yes, I know I keep saying this. We both keep saying this. Moccoli is an episode that's coming up. Eventually.
it will.
I'm actually trying to coincide the release with another YouTuber, giving her a little bit time to get caught up. You know who you are, girl. You know who you are. Quit messing with the chickens and quit piling up all that firewood. But again, I do like the rice at the bottom of it. And it's actually a nutritious drink. I'm not encouraging you to be an alcoholic. But look up Moccoli on YouTube. And you'll see from Orang. Most of it's in English. If not, it's subtitled. Watching these ladies 90, 98
literally years old, just sitting around drinking 2-3 bottles of this a day. Must be doing something right.
Delheim.
Cheers. That'll put air in your chest. So, no, we are not going to hit these with the toothpicks just yet. I knew I put a little bit too much in this, but we are going to go ahead and throw them on the grill. And as you see, I have a pan ready to go throw them in the oven as well. We'll pretend that that one sizzled too because I forgot to turn it up. You want to do this about 8 to 10 minutes on each side. How'd that broccoli get here? You know what? Waste not, one not.
There you go.
You want to cook these about 8 to 10 minutes on each side. Now these are, give me just a second, I'll tell you exactly what they weigh. It's a pound a piece. So that's a lot of meat and bone on there. Normally I'm not particular with weights. You know, pork I'm very careful with to make sure it's fully cooked. You want to get it up to temperature 160, 165 degrees. Some will say that's overcooking it. It's really not. This day and age, the way the meat's processed, you got to be careful. So, give us a few minutes. Have these done. Get our cute little grill marks. When the grill marks are done, in fact, here in just a minute, we're going to preheat our oven. You want to do it about 450 degrees, rather hot, to keep that heat going. And give it about another 10 to 15 minutes in the oven. You'll be good to go. When we get back, we'll show you the mashed potatoes. We'll get everything ready for you. And Mr. Roy back there will work his magic. I'm also going to show you a little treat coming up. Come on, Roy. Roy, I know, has been wanting to show off. Ignore the pig's feet up top.
Those are good. I can't wait to eat one.
This has got me curious. We'll be right back on In the Kitchen with me, Mikey, and of course the cameraman, old Roy.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't those pretty? Your stuffing is going to come out a little bit, but they are ready. And also your pan will let you know when it's ready. When it releases, they're ready. If it sticks, don't wrestle with it. There you go. You are going to lose a little bit of stuffing. Try not to keep them together or touching. So as you can see, it's still pink, close to the bone. These are only going to take about, perfect timing, these are only going to take about 20 minutes in here. Maybe not quite that long. If you don't have a meat thermometer, invest in one. I do have one. They're relatively cheap. If you're really good with your meat and you know by pressure, you don't have to worry about it. If you don't quit laughing every time I say that.
Okay.
Know your meat.
Yeah.
Another PSA.
Yes, that's another.
I did turn down our potatoes just a little bit. They're cooking a little bit faster than I really wanted them to, but that's okay. They're in. Our green beans are finally ready. I love the color of them. And when we get back, Roy is going to do some magic for us with the mashed potatoes. I don't typically use a electric beater. I like my masher. And we're going to season those up when we come back. Be right. How many times am I going to say when we come back?
When we come back.
When we come back.
When we come back.
When we come back.
Back.
Roy's favorite word, blame it on the mock. Oh, it's gone.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. I got one more.
Go ahead. I've had enough.
I'm ahead. Roy's still not completely back up to
I'm
normal.
not.
But I promise, we will get back into our regular drinking schedule.
Yes.
And
we
it's,
will.
Pooh, I heard you, baby girl. I heard you. It's time for margaritas again.
It surely is. Regular margaritas, please.
Yeah. Now hold on.
Okay, mango margarita.
Hold on.
Okay. If you say pickle margarita, I'm going to scream.
Don't knock it, guys. That is an episode. I loved my pickle margaritas.
Ah!
But yeah, we will be going back to regular margaritas. Thank you guys. I do appreciate you watching. We'll be right back.
What it was gone. Yeah.
Hey, welcome back. They are looking beautiful.
Oh, my lands.
Now we are going to pull these out for a few minutes and let them rest.
Yes. Always let your meat rest at least 5 minutes. Look how pretty.
Go ahead and kill our oven. We're going to drain our potatoes. Now all I have in here is a little bit of salt and the potatoes. We're going to drain them. Now my preference, I put in the butter first. And you want a good portion of butter. I don't want to hear it. I already know. I just took it out of the refrigerator because I wasn't thinking.
That's okay.
We're going to throw in a little bit of butter, a little bit of black pepper. Normally, you know, I use my grinding pepper, but for this, I don't know why. I just prefer store-bought, already ground. Potatoes, I like a lot of pepper with. Let's throw in a little bit of garlic. I'd say that was about 1 clove.
I would say that.
Now what you can also do, if you have a little bit too much water in here, throw them back on the stove. Just while you're doing this, keep them hot. Now my secret ingredient, I guess it's not so secret if I'm doing it for you guys, but my secret ingredient I like throwing in here is buttermilk. Before I do that, I'm going to put literally
I smell it.
half a teaspoon. Something tells me that might be too much. And when it comes to your liquid, may it be heavy cream. I've seen people use evaporated milk, regular milk. I like good old buttermilk. It provides a little bit of a tang. I think it's tasty. What you won't ever see me do is drink a glass of it. I can't do it. What's funny though, I like kefir.
Oh, I tried it. No, not me.
Think
No.
of a
Oh, God.
carbonated yogurt. I like it.
You can drink mine.
Now, that is ready. I am actually going to mix these up a little bit more.
Look pretty.
Now, to give myself a smidge of color, I'm going to use just a little bit of parsley. Hopefully that was parsley. It was. I don't use dried parsley a whole lot, but something like this, it's fine. If you happen to have parsley growing in your yard, in the store, however you like it, go ahead and use it. Some other good addition to mashed potatoes, rosemary is really good. Again, instead of using so much your milk or buttermilk, use cream cheese. That is really good in here. And so is sour cream.
I've had both of those.
Really good. I don't need to throw these back on the stove as I'm setting them over here, just to get them out of the way. Our green beans are fully cooked. Now these, like I said, are the Blue Lake. The Vegeta is amazing. When we did try them, very, very good.
Very different.
And the green bean has almost a sweet flavor to it. I'm typically not big on Blue Lake they're the ones that are usually blanched or just quickly pan fried, served whole without being broken, crunchy. You see them a lot on Chinese buffets.
With the garlic and the butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so these really turned out really, really well. We're going to let our pork chops rest for just a few minutes. Now it's Roy's turn to do his magic, plate this beautifully for us. I will say this, what would go really good on this one is a good balsamic reduction if you have it. They also make like balsamic glazes. I've seen a lot lately, which I do have those. Roy and I are in the middle on it. I like it, and not so much.
Okay.
But I'm going to let Roy do his magic. Thank you guys for stopping in. We'll be right back for the final cut. As always, Roy's done his magic in making a beautiful plate. Thank you for stopping by. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We need them. Come on, we're good people.
Like and subscribe.
There's only one thing left that we have to do.
Eat.
Eat. Thank you guys for coming. Have a great evening.
Bye.
You didn't think we were going out quite like that, did you? Roy and I went shopping today, and this was a new fruit that they had available at International Grocery and Spice. It is a
Look, I'm a hillbilly. I can't remember this stuff.
rambutan.
Rambutan. I should know that.
Now, if that is not the proper pronunciation,
Sorry.
you have to forgive us.
Yeah, I'm a hillbilly. I try.
So, let me tell you a little bit about these before we eat them. It is a fruit. And yes, I'm cheating. I'm looking at Wikipedia as we do this.
He is multitasking.
I can multitask. Hey, description. It is in the evergreen tree growing family. Production, cultivation, gallery. Oh, where's it from? This is
Far,
from
far away.
Far away.
Yes.
Southeast Asia, Indonesian region, parts of Africa. It's really similar to the lychee fruit. It is in the same family. I haven't had these, and Mina, we want to thank you very much for showing us these.
Yes.
Let me get down here. For some reason, I cannot find the nutrition. And I had the nutrition just a few minutes ago. Okay, well, maybe we will skip the. See if I knew how to read. It's my fault. Okay, let's get down here. Nutrition. 20 carbohydrates. And this does not say what the serving size is.
I would say one fruit.
You think so?
Oh,
That high in carbs? It
I
could
don't
be.
know.
4.9 milligrams of vitamin C, 22 milligrams of calcium, which is really weird for fruit.
Calcium.
It's high in magnesium, 7 milligrams, phosphorus, potassium, 42 milligrams. If I'm not mistaken, it's higher than a potato. And only 11 milligrams of sodium. So these are not super common in the United States unless they are canned. So we are going to get to this, and Roy is going to open these for us.
Mina at the National Market told us to look for a line, and it will pop open from the line, and I have found it, and I'm pulling it apart.
just in case we also. Oh,
Yeah, look at
now
that.
see, that's pretty. That it does remind me a lot of a leche or a
I say lychee.
lychee, a pear almost.
Yeah.
But it's much bigger.
I'm glad you put it in the refrigerator because it's really, really cool. Okay.
I'm glad I have a refrigerator to put it in.
Yay!
So, guys, we might as well say it now.
Rambutan.
Rambutan, and guess what time it is? Come on, Roy, let's see. Not a fan?
It's really tasty. It's kind of tastes like a pear.
Well, it kind of looked like a pear, I thought.
The seed.
Oh, no, that's interesting.
It's almost like wax. I mean, really, it has a tick. It's really tough. But it's very good. I'll give it a thumbs up.
Alrighty
As a matter
then.
of fact, I got two thumbs up.
I guess we hit it really well today. Well, guys, I will be eating one here in just a second.
I'll be right with you.
Can't really do it while I'm holding the.
I'm gonna be right there.
Oh, you're gonna insist?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Fire you
okay
in.
then. Let us switch.
Here we
We're trying not to make this a boring part.
Found the line.
I found the line.
Just pour it.
You know what scares me?
What?
Grabbing it like this. I have a chestnut tree in my yard,
Oh no.
and in a way, these kind of remind me of those. And those little blankety blanks hurt.
But these are really
Yeah, these are soft.
Find your line.
What is that? Sea urchin? It
Yeah.
kind of-
Oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty?
Ooh, it's pretty.
It is. When you taste it, you'll be really pleased. It tastes like a pear.
It almost has now just without eating it, just smelling. It's to me very melony, almost like a cucumber. The texture is definitely weird.
It's very pliable.
You said it right, wax-like.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
What you see? Oh, you cheated. You shoved the whole thing in your mouth.
Definitely not a fan of the texture. It is super, super sweet.
Uh-huh. What do you think it tastes like? I think it's like a pear.
There's elements of pear, melony, and believe it or not, a little bit of like cucumber taste to it. I really like this.
I do too. I can sit here and eat the whole things.
They are not cheap. For here, they were $4 a pound. We only got 6 of them because, you know, we're not going to buy a bunch if we don't know if we like them. These are definitely a winner. Definitely, if you see them, give them a try. Don't confuse them with the leche or get them side by side. If I'm not mistaken, the last time I had a leche fruit, they are much smaller than this.
Yeah.
The seed, not much different to the seed. The texture is definitely a wet gummy bear.
It's really
It's
gummy,
different,
waxy.
but
It really
it's
is
good.
different.
You don't get the. There's definitely no waxy flavor. Now something has stuck in my tooth, but I think that's where I bit into the seed a little bit. Definitely a winner this go around. Don't forget, I know we've said this tonight, please like and subscribe. Share our videos, tell your friends about us. If you have any ideas that you'd like us to do, or things specifically for Roy's segment, guess what time it is? He is really, really waiting for something like Sturstroming to come along
No.
to try, since he was a champ with the durian fruit.
Well, thank you.
Thank you guys for stopping by. We both appreciate this more than you know. Have a great week.